I'm Amy Zawi with the Jerusalem Connection Report Red Alert for Wednesday, December 13th. Recognizing Jerusalem. When the Trump administration was first sworn in last January, rumors and jubilation abounded that the Jerusalem city would be recognized as the undivided and eternal capital of the nation of Israel, and that the Trump administration would also move the embassy from Tel Aviv back to Jerusalem. Back in the spring, exactly 6 months ago, as a matter of fact, this first opportunity came along, but the Trump administration decided to wait on the move. Recently, it has come evident that the Trump administration, by all accounts, does indeed plan and has recognized Jerusalem as the undivided capital of the nation of Israel, but that the move of the embassy may still yet be upcoming. And I use the word yet optimistically. Now, in result of these rumors about the Trump administration recognizing the capital as well as moving the embassy, the UN had a vote of 151 for, 6 against, and 9 abstentions to disavow Israeli ties to Jerusalem. This seems quite absurd and vindictive at the very best, because the obvious historical connection between Israel and the Jewish people and the city of Jerusalem is absolutely undeniable by all accounts. Even people who think the city should be divided up understand that there's a connection between the Jewish people, the Israelis of modern day, and the city of Jerusalem. In New York, only 6 countries out of the 193 member UN nations voted no for that resolution. They were Canada, Marshall Islands, Micronesia, Nauru, the United States, and of course, the nation of Israel. Well, in response to this, I have to say, if you're doing any holiday shopping for Hanukkah, Christmas, or even birthdays upcoming, you should consider the book called The Anti-Israel Agenda by Alex Rivkin. The Jerusalem Post had a wonderful review regarding how it brings together the great minds of Alan Dershowitz, Alan Johnson, Colonel Richard Kemp, Hillel Nauer, and it reveals how the battle for Israel moved from the battlefield per se to the hearts and minds of people using media, college campuses, and all walks and avenues of life, including the economy, to wage this war. I've not had a chance to read this book in full, but it is being hailed by the Jerusalem Post and others as a must-read in order to understand the situation in the Middle East. It's also a good read from anyone from a secular to a faith-based perspective. It is fact-filled, straightforward, and looks at issues from a fair point of view. It's the type of book you can give to a family or friend or loved one who does not share the same views as you, but perhaps you will find some common ground to open up the discussion. It has a 5-star rating on the Amazon Book Review, and you can get it for as little as $4 downloaded to your Kindle, or the hard copy, believe it or not, is under $20 from most resellers. This makes it a great value for gift giving. One illustration of the BDS movement happened at New York University last month, where Students for Justice in Palestine were boycotting a study group that was going to Israel to study the Arab-Israeli conflict, including going to the so-called occupied territories and interviewing and working with Palestinians and Arabs as well as Jews. I don't understand how any legitimate college group can boycott a study tour, especially when they claim to be the victims of a so-called oppressor. If you asked any Chinese person, North Korean, Tibetan, who claims corruption and oppression in their homeland, if a study group would be a good thing to go over there and find out what's going on in order to identify the problem and help remedy it, most of those people would say, yes, please go, find the truth, and share it with the world. What's also ironic is that the Students for Justice in Palestine are boycotting this group because it includes trips to so-called occupied territories. And yet at the same time, they boycott birthright trips because they say those trips do not include investigation of Arab or Palestinian experiences in the land. So this is hypocrisy at its best, and it should not be tolerated or allowed by any well-reasoned person, regardless of your perspective on any political issue or faith issue. Indeed, finding truth, the scientific method, critical thinking and research skills, problem solving. These are all things that colleges should embrace and encourage amongst its student body. And for anyone to boycott those efforts, it really seems counterproductive and also revealing of the true nature of the intent of some of these groups. At no point should anybody be tolerating these things. And I'll say that again so that you can do what you can on your end to learn about these groups and combat the hypocrisy when you see it. Shavua Tov. Have a great week.